it's a sign. Or, maybe it's not. How can we tell, right? We as witchy folk, spiritual folk, we're all really big on signs and omens. Or at least I think we are. I am. But how do you know if something's really a sign or not? Here's some thoughts, theories, and ideas that I have related to signs. Alright, hello everyone, Witch Hazel again. Welcome to my car. It is what it is, traveling life, right? And I will try not to bump the computer too much, although it's looking like I move too much. Anyway, topic for today is signs and omens. I got to thinking about this after my last video on dreams. And there was actually a portion of that I cut out. It was going to be a second example, but I decided one example was good enough. I didn't need to ramble on with a second one. However, then that example kind of followed me through into the next day, so that's why I started thinking about signs. Alright, so signs. How do we know if something is a sign or isn't a sign? First off, basically, the number one prerequisite is you feel that it is a sign. You feel that it's something you need to pay attention to. For whatever reason, if it feels like a sign to you, then it is. Alright? But if maybe you're not so sure, the way that I look at it is if something keeps repeating over and over again in your life, then that should be taken as a sign. That is something that you are meant to look more closely at, think about, etc. In my case, I mentioned the butterflies, dragonflies, etc. This was something that came up multiple times over different days. So that's why it caught my attention, because I realized, hey, this is coming up a lot. The example that I left out of my dreams video was a sequence of dreams. There were two, I believe, one right after the other, where there was something wrong with my leg. I believe in both cases it was my leg, not someone else's, but where one leg was injured somehow, and like a snake bite, like necrosis type of, it was turning black type of a thing, but one leg was damaged. And I didn't go into it in the dream video. It's just part of all the signs and symbols thing for the dream record that I haven't completed yet, but I did write down those dreams. But I started to think about, well, what happens when those signs follow you into the waking world? Because right after that, so I did the dream video, I left out the part about the legs, and then someone in a comment on the video mentioned a book of signs that she keeps. And I thought, oh, that's a great idea. That's basically the thought I had with the personalized dream dictionary. And then as I was thinking about all this, then I went to a local coffee shop to try and get some work done, and the first thing I noticed when I walked through the door is the person working that day had a broken leg. Their leg was in a cast, and they were crutching along back and forth. So I'm like, okay, broken leg, interesting. And then on my way back home again, I had to stop at the market, pick up some stuff for my family, and as I am pulling in to find a park spot at the grocer's, here comes somebody else crutching along, broken leg. So when things like that happen, twice, one right after the other, and right after I'm thinking about this example for the dreams, I consider that a sign. I say, okay, I need to think about that. I need to look at it, and I need to see what it means for me. So basically, if something repeats in your life, it might be a sign, and you might want to stop and take a look at it, find out what do you think it means to you. The other thing that I found interesting in this case is that it wasn't just a repeated sign in a dream or a repeated external sign. This is the first time that I have taken note of a sign or a symbol from a dream manifesting then in the real world. Slightly different, I mean, no necrosis, luckily, but this idea of an injured leg. So when that happens, I think that is a little bit more, I want to say like intensive, a little bit more of a push that, okay, I gave you from, push from the divine, hey, I gave you this to look at, you haven't done it yet, you're being lazy, look at it again. Look, here it is in your everyday life. So this is important. You need to take a step back and figure out what I'm telling you here because it's important. Anyway, I want to just keep it at that, make it a short video. I thought that was really interesting how things came about from one realm to the next, and this is how I generally categorize things that I consider signs. So if you do it a different way, please let me know what you consider signs, or what is a sign, what isn't a sign. Or I know many people don't believe in signs, don't believe in omens. Me personally, I think it's a lot of fun to believe in it and to see these things all around in your daily life, but it's not for everyone. So just wanted to put that out there if it's helpful to anyone, and I will be hopefully back soon chatting with you again. Oh, yeah, chatting with you again because that sign led to another thing which I will be talking about in the next video, I hope. So I will talk to you again soon. Have a great rest of your week. Blessed be.